I began thrifting when I was old enough to receive an allowance, so about 12 or 13. I was living in the Middle East and we really only had one thrift store. It was kind of like a warehouse. And I realized that I loved to dig and I loved flea markets and I loved kind of shuffling through racks. And then the older I got, realized that I really liked it when I was able to save a lot of money. And when I realized that I could replicate what I was seeing in the magazines and on the runway and just doing it with thrifted items. And I started blogging because I was following a lot of bigger name blogs and I found that I was very inspired by them. And I thought, hey, I have a few things I can share. And so I came up with the name Dina's Days just to kind of share the miscellaneous things that I enjoy day to day. It took me a little while to kind of find my niche and my voice. And so when I realized, hey, almost everything I own is from the thrift store, it started to reflect and show a lot more on my blog. I recently went on a thrift shopping trip with my first client. And what it is, I was basically her personal thrift shopper. Essentially what that is you give me an idea of what your style is, what you're looking for, what you're having a hard time finding, and then I help you find it to match your style within a budget at the thrift store. So we recently, with my last client, we found 20 pieces, so 20 pieces of clothing for about $80 at the thrift store. It helps you be creative. The chances of somebody having the same outfit as you are very slim. And it's really challenged me to both find something that I've wanted. So say I need a blazer for work. So I'll go and try to find it at the thrift store first. But it's also challenged me to see the potential in things. You know, can I alter this piece? Or I really like it, but it's one of a kind. How can I make it my own? Basic advice I would give to thrifters or beginners would be to go often, research the stores that you're going to visit. A lot of times these stores will have discount days, family days, half off, customer appreciation days. So I like to go on the days that they're having a sale or a deal going on. Also take it one section at a time so it's not so overwhelming and intimidating. And also go with an idea in mind. You might not necessarily find what you have in mind that day, but you probably will maybe the second or third time. But at least going with something in mind makes it, it's not so overwhelming. When you go a lot, you start to develop an eye. And one of the things that I tell beginners is to look for color and texture rather than style. So you're kind of just looking through the rack instead of going through every single piece until you work up to that. You can kind of say, oh, I really like blue. And then you can just pull the blue or green shirt. Or, you know, I'm shopping today for polka dots. Oh, there you go. So if you're looking for texture, print, style, I'm looking for beads. That'll stand out rather than a specific style. Like, oh, I'm looking for a peplum top. That might be harder to find in a really tight rack. So that's a great way to develop an eye. We are very, very fortunate in Akron to have some of the best thrift stores. Of all the cities I visited, all the flea markets I visited, we are by far the least expensive. So my favorite thing to shop for would be clothes. And I also like to buy some mini collections for my house, just for home decor. I like to buy everyday things from the thrift stores as far as clothes go. But I think one of my favorite things I have a soft spot for would be old vintage items, embellished items. This is probably one of my favorite embellished pieces that I found at the thrift store for probably $5 at the Village in Akron. This was an outfit that Katie challenged me to replicate for the April Thrift Challenge. The jacket was $8. The dress was $4. It's a Forever 21 jacket. The scarf was $4. And the boots were $5, and they are Target brand. Overall, I got the outfit for $21. The number one reason why I blog is really to inspire others. I hope to just inspire others to thrift shop or maybe try a recipe that I've made. So as long as I'm inspiring one person, I'm happy.